Hello again, human beings. As we prepare for the second paper of the class, Rhetorical Analysis, let's briefly revisit the core concepts we've discussed so far: rhetoric, pathos, ethos, and logos. Rhetoric, Aristotle wrote, in the art of rhetoric is the faculty of discovering in any particular case all of the available means of persuasion. These available means can be broken down into three conceptual categories: ethos, pathos, and logos, with ethos referring to an appeal to credibility, pathos as an appeal to emotion, and logos as an appeal to logic. Just as the church paper emphasized pathos, this second paper will emphasize ethos and logos. Whether you choose the We Should All paper or the rhetorical analysis paper focused on Hamid, the thrust of the assignment is the same. You must make an argument and you must analyze source material. In order to do this, you must appeal to your audience's logic and you must establish credibility. Logical claims, remember, always have two components: cause and effect. An ethos, or credibility, suggests the speaker or writer must build a bond of trust with his or her audience based on character, a sense that the writer or speaker is in good standing with his community and has experience that gives him or her authority. This convergence of source material and experience, primary and secondary evidence, is at the heart of ethos. But now let us go further into new conceptual territory. Today I would like to introduce three new critical terms: kairos, exigence, and parrhesia. Kairos, like ethos, pathos, and logos, is a term derived from ancient Greece and is often confused with context. Although there is some overlap between the two concepts, there is a difference as well. In order to offer a kairotic argument, one may need to be aware of context, but kairos itself refers to timeliness, appropriateness, decorum, and balance, and awareness of one's rhetorical situation, and the ability to create the perfect moment to deliver your message. Think of examples or context for this concept. If you are talking about racism in America, what might be a good city and a good day of the year to give your speech? Perhaps April 4th in Memphis at the Lorraine Hotel, where Martin Luther King, Lorraine Motel, where Martin Luther King was shot. Perhaps Ferguson. If you are debating online about climate change, what social media platform is best to hold this conversation, what time of the day, and who should be included? Before you begin your argument, take the time to imagine the situation itself, the context, and how you might be able to take advantage of that context to amplify your argument and make it more timely, more appropriate. Imagine how such contexts demand different languages and different manners. When and where is it smart to drop an F-bomb? And when and where might you wish to refrain? Probably here. Which takes us to the concept of parrhesia, a term that loosely means free speech or fearless speech. It has come in contemporary times to mean speaking truth to power. In ancient Greece, one can imagine a great deal of overlap between parrhesia and ethos, because in parrhesia one used and risked one's credibility as a citizen to speak truth to the ecclesia or the assembly, sort of like our Congress. The parrhesiastic act involved challenging power with a story that was specifically your own. If you choose the We Should All paper, modeled after Adichie's argument, We Should All Be Feminists, imagine how you might use your status and experience to convey a powerful message that challenges a structure of power. The parrhesiastic speech is characterized by frankness, criticism, danger, and duty. Think about this. If you wish to argue that we should all abandon Facebook or should all stop eating meat, how can you bring the frankness of your own personal story into the argument? What is the nature of your criticism? What danger do you expose yourself? What danger do you expose yourself to by taking this stance? And on what grounds is it your duty to argue for social media addiction or the dangers of an omnivorous diet? Who are you to give this speech? Finally, and most pertinent to our ongoing conversation about the elephant in the room, I would like to invite you all to now consider the concept of exigence. The exigent is urgent, but exigence is not just about urgency. The exigent is significant, but this is not just about significance. Based on the work of Lloyd Bitzer, I'd like to define exigence as the urgency that arises from a hole in the discourse. Another way of saying this is that exigence refers to tension that comes from nobody having the courage, or perhaps knowing how, to talk about the elephant in the room. In other words, something is missing from the conversation, the discourse, and so we have to ask why. Why are we so afraid to talk about the elephant? Exigence suggests there is a problem to be solved. The exigent argument addresses that problem by either talking about the elephant in the room or perhaps recognizing the good reasons for not talking about it, for omitting the elephant's name and playing that game of omission better than those who have come before you. Thus, the exigent argument can be a tightrope walk of manners, or it may come across as brazen and offensive, an argument that defies propriety. As you read Hamid, think about all the things, all the names he leaves out. Why? Think about the ways he constructs his novel. What is the elephant in the room that he names, and what is the elephant he refuses to name? In your rhetorical analysis, how might you speak truth to power without getting punished by the powerful? How might you make your claims seem urgent and timely, a response to a problem others don't seem to know how to talk about? How might you build on the concepts of ethos, pathos, and logos, braid together these concepts of kairos, parrhesia, and exigence, and thereby strengthen your rhetoric? In this next paper, please, take a risk. Address the elephant in the room. Speak truth to power.